What's up, everyone? It's your girl Diva B back with another video, and today I will be doing a voiceover for my video on how to do squiggly feeds. And basically the squiggly feeds are squiggly parts in between each feed and braid, along with the small braid in between being squiggly as well. Okay, so right now I am sectioning out the hair for each feed and braid, and as I stated before in my other voiceover video for my small lemonade braids, I basically just eyeball each section for each feed and braid. I don't know how many pieces I section off for, and I don't always use each section for each feed and braid, where as you see I have like over 10 little sections right there. That does not mean that I will typically use each section for that one feed and braid. Okay, so within this technique, again, I just eyeball my sections, and that's just it with that. So my poster board, normally I put about 2 feed and braids. Well, I section out 2 feed and braids on my poster board each time I go to section. And for these squiggly feeds, she's just getting 5 feed and braids with 4 squiggly braids in between, small braids in between. And as I stated before, I go really, really small, and I gradually grow the braid. So that's why some of the sections look way bigger than others. So the real smallest sections, of course, go at the beginning of the braid, and as the braid grows, it starts to get bigger and bigger. And then the biggest sections are basically like the back towards the end of the braid. Okay? And as I've stated before, normally I don't do voiceover videos because I really don't know how to explain a lot of what I do. So that's why it's easier for me to just show you all. So when I do voiceover videos, this is just exactly the way that to my best ability, that I can explain how to do. Okay? Make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you share this video, and let's jump up into me doing these squiggly feeds. So right now, I am parting my first feed and braid squiggly. Okay? So I'm doing my rough draft. I like to call my first parting my rough draft, because I actually part each braid twice. Okay? So my first part is basically the first draft that just lets me know how much hair I need to have in each braid, and yada yada yada. I like my parts to be as perfect as possible, so. And I'll be going in and out of this voiceover because, again, I don't know how to explain a lot of the things that I do. So I'll be going in and out, in and out, in and out. So now I'm just going ahead and saturating my rough draft part with my product. Okay? A lot of you all ask me what products I use. My suggestion is either Shining Jam or Silk Elements. Those are the products that I suggest. Okay, so now I'm about to go ahead and part my final parting before I prepare to do my first feed and braid. Okay, and the reason why I do this the reason why I part the part twice, I have a rough draft and the final parting, is because I like to make sure my part is as straight, or not even as straight, but as perfect as possible, because of course with squiggly feeds the part is not going to be straight, okay? But you don't want little hairs all in the way to make the part look like it's not perfected squiggly to a T. So this is why I do my rough draft parting first, and I go back over it with the parting. And you can also call this like a 3D parting, like a 3D effect or HD effect. Make the part really pop out, stand out, with applying the product to the part after you've parted it first, and then going back and parting it through again to make sure it is completely how you want the part to look. To me, parting is very, very extremely important. I cannot express to you all enough how important it is to part the part as well as you can, to your fullest ability, before you begin to braid your feed in braid. Okay? When it comes to parting, a lot of people look at that. A lot of people look at other clients' hair, and they'll notice like, your part is not even straight. What? Like, when you look at feeding styles, that is one of the first things that you will notice. Your part is not up to its standards at all. It takes a lot of patience to get your part to how it needs to look. Okay, when I first started doing feed-ins, my parts looked like shit. I wasn't doing rough draft and final partings. I was only doing the first parting. I didn't even apply product to my partings. My partings looked like shit. So don't expect, for your partings to be up to its fullest potential when you're just starting off. Okay, you have to work yourself up. So now I've already reparted my parting, and I am preparing to do my feeding. So I'm just moving everything out the way that doesn't need to be there, and I'm about to put all this other hair up. All right, and you all see how neat that squiggly parting is. Okay, so I'm just combing my section so that it looks nice and neat. Get all the little kinks out. Okay. Combing the edges. Okay, and I'm applying more product first on the other side a little bit to make sure that the hairs do not follow me as I braid. And now I'm also saturating fully the actual section that I am about to go and feed in for our first feed in braid. All right, make sure that you have your section that you're feeding in very saturated. All right, that'll take away all the frizz, that'll take away all the oldness look of the braids. It'll make it look really neat, consistent. And then after you do that, after you fully saturate, I do one side at a time. Okay, so I've saturated one side at a time, and then I've gone and combed through. Now I'm pushing down a little bit, and I'm going on the other side of the section, and I'm about to go and saturate that side as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and comb through that side as well. Now, I don't know if you all notice, but a lot of times, like, for instance, with me, when I apply product and everything on my client's hair for the feed in braids, it does turn white, okay? But once I do my last finishing touches, put the foam wrap on, sit you under the dryer, the white goes away. Now, I know you all are thinking, will the white come back? No, not throughout the braids, and typically not throughout the edges unless I've oversaturated their edges. But I use a special technique on top of the edge control to make sure that that does not happen, okay? All right, so I'm over here working on her edges, and I also do a rough draft on the edges and the final draft on the edges, because as I said again, when you're working with certain products, by the time you hit to the middle of the service or whatever, the client's edges might start turning white. And like I'm stating again, that's all cool and dandy, because once I put my finishing touches and everything to my client, her edges will not look white at all. It's a certain technique that I do so that their edges turn back the way and get the way that they're supposed to be. And you all wouldn't believe what that technique is, but it's too early to share that right now. Gotta keep watching and tuning into my videos, and maybe I'll disclose that. Maybe. Alright, so I've already pre-started my braid off, and now I'm about to go in. I braid really differently. And this is sometimes the reason why I have a hard time doing stitch braids, because a lot of other stylists that I see who service stitch braids, they use another braiding technique when they braid, and I cannot do that technique to save my life. I don't know why my fingers won't work like that, but it always just takes me back to my actual technique, you know. I'm also trying to get my skills up to where I can actually hide all of the color when I'm using different colors, as far as like reds and blondes and stuff like that in that nature. But you got to work at one thing at a time, so. And it's so crazy because the way that I do my technique, you would think that I'm about to do like Ghana braids or banana braids, the way I throw the section over the braid. But then I actually just wrap my client's natural hair underneath and keep braid. It's just weird. I don't know. This is why I don't do this voiceover shit, because I start to getting confused myself, and then yeah, it's just a no-go. So let's just continue watching this video, and I will be back to let you all know about the small feed in braid. All right, you all. So I'm back. Like I said, I would be. And now I have already finished my first feed in braid. And as you can see, the braid looks quite flawless. It looks squiggly. And I am parting off my section for my small braid in between. Now, when it comes to the small braids in between, a lot of times I actually may not do a rough draft for the part and then the final draft. In a lot of cases, I also may not even apply product to that part for the small braid. That's just something that I prefer most times not to do, and sometimes I will do it. I can't quite give you all a definite reason as to why. Sometimes I don't, well, sometimes most times I don't do it, and sometimes I do. I don't know, but it is what it is. So I'm just moving the extra hairs out the way, putting the rest of her hair up so I can prepare to braid her small braid. Okay, when it comes to the small braids, sometimes I may not even add braiding hair into the small braids because I like for them to look as natural as possible. And then other times I will actually add like a teensy, literally a teensy bit of hair, braiding hair, into that small braid, just because it depends on the client's hair around the edges, about the thinness of them. And I don't want them to start lifting up too early before her actual feeding braids. I want the whole style to last all together. So this is why a lot of times I may add a teensy bit of hair into the braid to keep everything intact. Sorry, I had to put intact all together. So I'm just going on ahead, and you all see that little teensy piece of braiding hair that I'm starting it off with. And you all, I want to stress to you all, just the FYI, and I'm not saying this, I hope I don't offend anyone when I say this, but this is just an FYI, okay? I know a lot of you ladies, you see certain styles and you see that people, have their edges swooped to a T, got the little baby hair slicked by the sideburns and all that extra stuff. And that's all cool and dandy. But I just want to let you all know, everyone's hair is not the same. Some people have over the top edges where you can swoop them and make them like all extra all day long. And then you have some clients texture hair, or the way that their hair is, and it just does not work like that. So the stylist has to do to the best of their ability to service and satisfy that client and their expectations. That being said, if you show a stylist a picture of a style that you want, and you know that you may not have that fullness of edges or whatever, please be prepared for your edges or your swooping to not look as such. And just an FYI, my client in this video didn't give me no problems at all about her edges whatsoever. I'm just stating, just little tips here and there as I do this voiceover and I start to think about a couple of things. All right, so we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the end of this small braid. All right, going all the way down, all the way down. And again, I'm about to stop doing this voiceover until I get to a part where I want to continue. All right, you all. So I'm back, and I'm going to show you all the way that I wrap and prepare my client for underneath the dryer. I got her wraps on, got the foam wrap going down. I'm about to sit her under the dryer for a few. No, I did not get the finishing product after the dryer, but I hope that you all enjoyed this video anyway. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Mwah.